Welcome to the Unit 1 test review. Sorry for the way it looks. Could not figure out how to, it wasn't working to load it up onto my iPad. So this is as good as I could do for the time I had. So I'm going to substitute in. I am not going to be using Desmos at all. You're more than welcome to. I still need to see some order of operations. Remember, just showing me the answer is not going to work. So we're going to substitute in, replacing the x with 2/3. So 2/3 squared plus 3 times, put it in parentheses. Whenever you do this, put this in parentheses. Put whenever you substitute in parentheses. Next, I'm going to do exponents. So it's going to be 2 squared over 3 squared. So I'm distributing that square to the numerator and denominator. So 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9. And then if I'm looking at the middle here, the middle term, I'm going to multiply those together. So when you multiply fractions, you multiply the numerators, multiply the denominators. 1 times 3 is 3. Now we're looking to simplify each term if we can. 4/9 I cannot simplify. 6 over 3, that I sure can. So I have 4/9 is going to come down. 6 divided by 3 is 2. We could do 4/9 plus 2, which is 2 and 4/9, and then we subtract 2, and it's just going to give us 4/9. Or you could just do 2 minus 2 is 0, leaving you with 4/9. All right, problem number 2. We have where the a is and the b, we're going to substitute 64 and -5. So -2 cube root of 64 plus -5 squared. Please put these in parentheses when you substitute in. So you have the cube root of 64 is 4. You can find that in Desmos. That's under the function key. So, and this is 2 times, so it's 2 times 4. -5 squared means -5 times -5. That's another way of writing -5 squared. 2 negatives multiplied to a positive. -5 squared, that anything squared is always a positive answer. Then we have -2 times 4 yet. That's our order of operations. Plus 25 is 17. Next, we have m squared. So remember where the m is we're going to put parentheses around it. So it's -6 squared over square root of 4. If you want to put that in parentheses, you sure can in the denominator. Plus m times n. Order of operations, we have exponents. So -6 squared is 36. And the square root is actually an exponent also. We'll talk more about it later, but square root of 4 is 2. You could do the multiplication now at this step, but we'll work through the order of operations just the proper way that always works. So now we have multiplication, division. So we have division, 36 divided by 2 is 18. -6 times 4 is -24. If 18 plus a negative, that's the same thing as 18 subtract, or 18 plus a -24 is the same thing as 18 minus 24, which will be a negative answer, -6. So we're going to replace the g, so that's 3 times g. And h, -4 to the third over -2. Okay, so we have 3 times -2. I'm going to do inside the absolute value, which is like parentheses. I'm going to do multiplication. So 3 times -2 is -6. -4 to the third is -4 times -4, which is 16 times -4 is -64 over -2. Inside the absolute value, we have a -11. And then in the fraction, we have -64 divided by -2 is positive 32. So you could write a positive 32 here if you want. This minus the positive, you have absolute value of 11, -11. That's at distance from 0 is 11. We have minus a positive 32 is the same thing as subtract 32, which is 11 minus 32 is negative 21. Last problem, I'm going to try to squeeze this in here. Oh, I could just write with white. I think that'll work. So negative 2 times negative 15 plus 6. Negative 2. Negative 15 plus 6 is negative 9. And on the outside here, that means multiplication. So it's negative 2. Absolute value of negative 9 is 9. So it's times 9. Negative 18 is your answer. Let's move on to the next page. That is not the next page. Uh-oh. I do not have the next page on here. I will have to do a separate video for that. So the next page that I have here is number 9. Let me see what we got. Let me do number 6. So number 6. Uh-oh. Having some technical difficulties. Number 6, we have 4x minus 7y plus 2y minus 9 minus 8x plus 5. So we have like denominators, or not like denominators, like terms. We have 4x minus 8x, which is negative 4x. We have negative 7y plus 2y equals negative 5y. And we have a negative 9 plus 5. That's supposed to be a 5. Remember, the sign next to it always comes with. So now we just got to join these together horizontally. Negative 4x minus 5y minus 4. That's 6. 7. To be like terms with 7x squared y, we need to have the exact same variables, and the exponent has to be on the x squared. So the 1 y x squared, that looks pretty ugly. That's the first one. You have x squared, and it's a y is by itself. So that is like terms. 7x squared y, obviously. You have x squared y. Negative 4x squared y. So that you have to have the x squared and the y cannot be. 1/2 x squared y. And that's it. Those are the 4. Next we have 3 times, so this is number 8. 3 times 6n minus 5 minus 2n plus 4. So we need to, first we gotta get all these like terms. We're simplifying. If you ever see parentheses, distribute first. So 3 times 6n is 18n. 3 times negative 5 is negative 15. We have a negative here. Let's treat that as a negative 1. Take the negative 1 and distribute it in, negative 2n. Negative 1 times 4 is negative 4. Let's see if we have any like terms. We have 18n minus 2n is 16n. We also have negative 15 minus 4 is negative 19. There's our final answer. I think I have number 9. There it is. So number 9. We have negative 9 times 6m is negative 54m. Negative 9 times a negative 3 is positive 27. Our next problem, we have positive 6 times 1 is positive 6. Positive 6 times a positive 4m is a positive 24m. Gather our like terms. We have negative 54m plus 54m is a negative 30m. We have 27 plus 6. Those are your constants. and that's 33. And there's your answer. Number 10, we have distributing. So you're going to want to most likely do the subtraction first, 10 minus 5, but that's not correct. We have a multiplication. You have to do multiplication prior to subtraction. So I'm going to take that subtraction and make it a negative 5 times 9n. I'm going to bring the 10 down. Negative 5 times 9n is a negative 45n. Negative 5 times a negative 9 is a positive 45, so plus 45. See if I can gather any like terms. We have constants of 10 and 45, so that's 10 plus 45 is 55 minus 45n. All right, number 11, which expression represents 4 less than half a number? So think about this. 4, if I do 4 less than 10, you should be like, well, that's 6, well, because you did 10 minus 4. So you switch them around. So anytime you see the less than, that is a turnaround. So 4 is going to be at the back of the problem, and half a number is going to be at the front of the problem. So 1/2 a number, and then less than a subtraction, and then 4. Which is B. 11, 12. 12, I'm reading through the problem, the quotient. Quotient is division, so I'm going to look for and. And there's the next and is right here, next to the 40. What comes before it is your numerator, before the and. What comes afterwards is your denominator. Well, there's a lot of stuff that comes afterwards. And there is also a product here. Product means multiply. And you're multiplying the next two numbers. We find the and a number, we don't know what that is, so I'm going to use x and negative 8. So you're going to multiply those two together. And that is, remember, that is your denominator, the product of a number and negative 8. So negative 8 times x. All right, number 13, cost of renting rollerblades is $4, so that's your flat fee. So it's going to be $4 and $3.50 for each hour that rollerblades are rented. So you should have $4, that's one fee. And then the thing that's changing is the $3.50 for each hour. So it's times h, which will be D. You can switch these around, but a commutative property of addition. Number 14, do I have that one on somewhere? I do not. Awesome. All right, number 14, let's look at it. Which expression represents this 3 times the sum of? So I want to be careful with sum of. So you're adding something, and anytime you have an of, what comes afterwards, we're going to look for the and, we're going to put that in parentheses. It's not always needed, but when you do see an of, if you put it in parentheses, you'll always be right. Like this problem up here with number 12. There was an of there, so I could have put this in parentheses, and there's no problem with it, but there is nothing in front of the quotient. So here we have 3 times, so that there is something in front of the quotient. So it's going to be 3 times, in parentheses, the sum. So we're looking for and. Comes before it is twice a number, so twice a number. And 7, we have to sum it up. So 2x plus 7. And there's your final answer. And I think there are some more problems here. One more problem. So let's get to 15. So Ashley has $20 to spend at a store. She plans to purchase 3 notebooks, which expression would represent how much money she will have left after she checks out. So I think of myself, if I go to the store and I have $20 and I go up to the cash register and say, I'd like to buy these 3 notebooks, you are taking $20 and you are going to subtract off the 3 notebooks times however much they cost. If they costed $1 each, then it's 3 times 1, which will be 3, and then you have $17 left. If they cost $2 each, it would be 3 times 2, which is 6. You'd have 20 minus 6 is $14 left. But this is going to be your formula. You're going to want to take the 20 and then subtract off. Think about it as if you're going to the store. And that is C. All right, come to class with any questions you have. If you have questions, please come to me prior to class. Get an advisory pass. Thank you.